Progress daily. In order to get the opportunity, you must show up by any means, whatever it takes.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audate podcast. I'm Lory, Audate, co-host for Audate, where we explore the diverse landscape of business, where we offer unique perspectives on automations and monthly reoccurring revenue. How was your week, Andy?
So far, so good, and I'm excited just to keep on growing and taking things to the next level.
Nice. Well, is there anything in particular that was the highlight of your week that you want to share with your audience, through discoveries, anything of that sort?
The value of customer retention is like creating new sales. So when you are able to retain a customer and give them consistent value, the value of that is equivalent to creating new sales week in and week out. So I want you to imagine like when I think of acquiring a customer, the effort, the energy, the resources that goes to acquiring a customer, that same energy is equivalent to just retaining your current customer and keeping a customer with you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not always like, let me go chase another customer. It's give value to current customers. Give them pretty much another reason to keep paying the month, but not just that, to be loyal, to adapt the product, implement the product. That's great insight. And why did that kind of become the highlight of this week? Was there something particular, was it looking at data? Was there kind of a reason that stood out this week? It's an important point. That's why I asked.
I mean, it wasn't like something that was like, it's something that I kind of knew, but sometimes even forgot. Just the philosophy of going from, instead of just focusing on getting new customers, you can just keep your current customers happy. So, like today, I'm building out new programs and products and identifying some additional areas that we can give value to our customers. And it's coming from a different perspective. It's coming from the perspective of, I want to serve you, I want to help you grow. You're already a customer. You're already paying a subscription. But how do I support you to grow? What resources? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to text? Who's in my phone book that I can bring in to support you? What additional knowledge do you need to know? Who do I get to be as a leader to elevate myself to get new knowledge to bring to you as a subscriber? So that's the difference versus like, let me just go and hustle and get a customer, to I need to elevate myself to give more value to my subscribers.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Well, actually, as you mentioned customers, there's a topic that I want to kind of pick your brain on for this week, because a lot of people don't know, but we have tax strategists, tax preparers, CPAs, and tax consultants on our software. And so I look at the information many times of who our clients are, how they're succeeding, their success with Progretta. So I want to actually do a Q&A in regards to how a tax consultant, or pretty much any consultant, but this will be a little bit niched down to taxes. How can someone that has a tax business use Progretta and actually implement a lot of the things that we've discussed across different podcasts: retention, automations, workflows. But I just want to pick your brain on how this happened. We have I call like a very traditional business model that most tax companies have.
Yeah.
But we're millennials, and I think that you created a breakthrough in that industry. Would you agree that Progretta has created a breakthrough with how tax consultants, CPAs, can actually run their businesses?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We can identify some of the roadmaps that a certified public accountant, tax strategist, accountant, bookkeeper, and so forth in that specific niche can utilize our technology.
So tell me a little bit more about one of our, like, a success story that we've both seen. So there was somebody that had a traditional brick and mortar. They had the staff on site, and they did one of your coachings. I remember it started with an in-person strategy session, and one of the discoveries was that they could actually do a lot of it virtually. And so tell me a little bit about that breakthrough and how you helped the tax person identify, wait a minute, I can cut my operating costs by X amount. How did you come up with that strategy when during that session, if you remember? Maybe not all the details, but what was the first thing that you noticed where they could not only save money, but reach more people through softwares and virtual?
So I think I know you, the person that you're talking about. This person is typically just in the hustle. They're boots on the ground, and this person specifically, they wanted to transition to online. So they run a tax business and they wanted to transition online. So we supported them the same strategies that we support coaches with. We help them with their business, and I'm going to talk about a tax consultant that I know very well. Let me see. I might have his a video testimonial on my screen. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Actually,
There's actually a few.
yeah.
I do remember it started with that in-person session where you did like a whole whiteboard, but then after that we kind of discovered, wait, other people in the tax businesses can apply this.
Right. So I'll share with you how this one tax consultant did it. This is a tax consultant based out of Texas. I met them at an in-person event, and they were doing essentially the old way of the old model, which is like, let me get your business card, let me get your business card, let me pass my business card to you. And this is how they were collecting leads, and this is how they were taught to do it. And that industry is very specific on how they generate leads, which is like, here's your business card, here's my business card. They go back and forth. So what I shared with this tax consultant, I said, hey, why don't you hop on stage in front of businesses? Think about this. All of them are businesses. Hop on stage in front of all these businesses and have them text you a keyword to your phone number, so that way you can generate a lead. And then the gentleman was like, how does that work? So I explained this thing called chat automation. And with chat automation, you're able to, right from the audience, as they're in front of you, you're able to capture their name, email, and phone number, set up an appointment, a tax strategy call, all automatically. And the goal is to give something for free that's of value. And how that looks for him is, today he created a document which is the top 300 deductions that a small business owner can take. And he put it into a Google spreadsheet, and now he gives that Google spreadsheet away for free when he's on stage, and he says, hey, how many of you are business owners, and how many of you want more deductions? And they're like, oh, everyone's like, yes, I want more deductions. I want to save money on my taxes, of course. So text me the word taxes to my phone number. And when someone texts that word taxes to their phone number, he goes in and captures the name, email, and phone number of each person that's in the audience. That could be someone that's in the audience. That could, if there's an in-person event, that could be a billboard that people are going to text in. That could be a TV commercial. That could be based off a QR code. So however you get the person to text the word, that's what creates the lead for you.
Gotcha. So it sounds like they already had, well, I believe with taxes, it starts with like mid-ticket or it could be low ticket. And these are clients that are reoccurring, meaning that they come back every tax season.
Yes.
Sometimes they also do the books for businesses. So like if someone does the taxes for a business owner, they might be doing payroll. They might be doing more than just the tax season. So they already had the business, right? They have the clients. Correct. But they were also seeking more, because you're not going to turn away clients. You're trying to grow the business. You're trying to go from $1 million a year to 2 million to 3 million. Like, everybody's trying to grow, evolve as a business owner. So they had the core business already established. They had core clients, I should say. But now they were going to add events, and they want to go on stage. They want to make sure that those leads convert. So you're telling me that just with that one shift, which is a chat automation, they were able to now reach more people. They're comfortable going on stage because they know they're going to be handled, instead of coming home with a stack of business cards.
That's correct. And you'll be surprised how many do it that way, where they're like, let me get your business card, let me get your business card. And they're playing, back and forth with business cards, where you have the ability today to be able to just generate a lead right from a stage, right from a platform, and capture the name, email, and phone number of your potential customer in front of you. Actually, I have a video I can share. I'm hoping that it works with this technology here.
Yeah, you can share screen, presentations, videos, all of that.
So let's see this, and then let's see if this audio will work. So here's 26 seconds of an example of me doing it. So this is me on a stage, and at this point, I wasn't the main speaker. I was just on a panel. And with being on a panel, it was me, the host to the left, and then myself and two other gentlemen. And so in this scenario, my goal is I want to generate leads. So there's a few hundred people in the audience. So this is what I did. Tell me if you can hear it. Oh, the video does not. The video does not play. So that's new. This is new technology for us to use. So I can scroll. Maybe that will still work. So here in this scenario, what I did was I said, hey, I wrote a book. I'm going to give it to the audience. Who here would like it? And you can see that there are people who are raising their hands like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And you can see the speaker's attention all divert to the audience because everyone in the audience started yelling, I want the book, I want the book, I want the book. And all I said in this 26-second moment, I said, text me the word, a specific keyword to my cell phone, and the first person to text will get the book. And this is an example of how I go ahead and I start generating leads. So in a short period of time, that was only 26 seconds, but I went and I had everyone pull out their phones and start texting me, and it was like all leads. So for someone who's a tax consultant, your customer is a business owner. So by getting in front of business owners, you're able to now get in front of them, share with them something that is valuable, and give them a tool or a resource to go ahead and start and opt in, and that's how you start generating leads.
Yes, and the key part here is, and we've talked about in other podcasts, is the person going on stage has to be giving something of value in order for the text to come in. You can't just go on there and say, hi, my name is Lory, I have real estate experience, text me. That's I mean, I think I'm a great person, right? And I have a lot of experience, but like experience and personality doesn't get people to text. Am I right on that? Like in that video that you showed, you're holding a physical book. You showed that you really did only have a limited amount, right? The person that texts you first will get it. And I do remember, because I was actually at that event in Miami, it was a big ballroom. This wasn't a mastermind size. This is like 500 people type of room. Chairs are all full. 1 out of 500 could have gotten that book. Correct. And by you having that product there, the book, and saying you're going to win this or you're going to get this book, the value can be interchanged, right? It could be a free consultation for 1 hour. It could be a strategy call. It could be 300 ways to save on your taxes. Like it could be whatever that item is. You can input whatever matches your industry. So is part of that being set up with something of value? Have something of value. You go on stage and you have the call to action. You have the automations on the back end on Progretta. Or I just want to be clear so people don't just go on stages like I told them to text me.
Yeah. So yes, the process is like this. So you get on stage and there's a framework that you're going to follow. And the framework that you're specifically going to follow is called MWSBO. When you get on stage, you're going to share what your message is to the world, to the audience. So for example, your message could be decrease your tax liability so that way you can help your family grow or your income grow, something of that nature, right? Decrease your tax liability. The government doesn't need more of your money. You need more of your money. That could be your message. Then you share your why. Why is that your message? Then you share a brief story. Then you share what your business is. Hey, I'm a tax consultant and I help small businesses save money on taxes. It could be something that simple. I have a friend of mine who's a tax strategist, very successful, 7 or 8 figure business earner. And that's all he does. He tells people like, hey, especially big players who have high tax liability, he's just communicating to them, this is the way. Then you share your offer, and your offer is going to be that thing for free, which is going to be that freebie that generates a lead. So for example, a tax strategist may say, hey, text me the word taxes if you want to get my tax deduction list. And it's the top 300 deductions to go ahead and it's the top 300 deductions. And it could be something that simple that your audience says, you know what, I'm interested to see what are the top 300 deductions I can take. But what you just identified is you just saw and got a list of everyone who's interested in saving money on their taxes. So this is a clean list of people who are genuinely interested in the services that you offer because they opted in to get it from you. And that's how you start generating leads. And then inside of our software at Progretta, there's a tool in the back end that is a automation where it automatically sends out text messages, emails, phone. It automatically communicates to those people with text messages, emails, so on and so forth. So when someone opts in and puts in their name, email, phone number, our software will then text that person, will then email that person, will then follow up that person to schedule a call for you, or to bring them to your webinar, to bring them to your presentation, or whatever that may look like.
Yes, that's actually the next part that I wanted to mention. This is just the very, like if you think of an iceberg, this is just the very top. What we're sharing about being on stage and having the call to action, that's just what happens on stage. But on the back end, what Progretta would do for the business consultant, business strategist, the speaker, the business owner, is they can still be at the event, but the person will now be what we call enrolled, or that was the trigger for them to get tagged. So they could get tagged for the event date or the event
Yes.
name. They could be put into what is called the dashboard. Like, what's the opportunity? So are they a new lead? Are they an event lead or something like that? So you can categorize them. Now, you're not doing this manually. This happens in seconds or minutes, depending how you set it up. And then also the software of Progretta, the automations and the workflows, is having conversations with them about, hey, so thank you for texting me, whatever the words are that you want to input, but it can essentially lead up to potentially an appointment.
Yes.
So the person spoke on stage, let's say on Saturday. Many times these events are evenings, late, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. You come back to your office on Monday, Tuesday, there is a potential that you would actually have calls already on your calendar, correct?
Correct.
That call to action.
Yes. So as soon as you get on stage and you say text the word taxes or whatever your keyword is, and then that automation that of the automatic emails and text messages that capture the person's name, email, phone number, that whole entire process can, because you have the contact details, you can now follow up with them and have them automatically book on your calendar. It could be for tax services, it could be for a consultation, whatever that may look like, and all that process can be automated with Progretta.
So having the automations in your experience, because you've done events, you've done the speaking, you've had staff at events. Actually, when I met you, you had was it like 8 people that were there at the event collecting names and numbers? Like, there was a lot of people. They were all in suits.
Notepads. I used to do
Yeah.
notepads and so forth.
Yeah. So in your experience, how much money do you think this has saved you from when you used to have the staff there with the notepads? They used to be like, let me get your business card. They would go back into WeWork, input it, or maybe their cell phone. I don't know how they were doing it. I didn't know you like that. But how much money has this saved you from going from a in-person notepad type of model to now you have Progretta doing this at your events?
So I wouldn't even look at it as how much money did it save me. I would ask myself, how much money did I make from it? Because the savings doesn't, like, how much money does having a car save me compared to like walking? I'm able to get to places faster. I'm able to meet people sooner. I'm able to do more in a shorter period of time, because for me to walk 15 miles is different from me to drive 15 miles at 80, 70 miles an hour. So I would look at how much money has it made, and it's made much more money than doing things manually, for sure, without a doubt. So for someone who's a tax consultant or a tax professional, what you want to do is you want to identify what are the areas of your business that you can streamline communication with your potential customers and your current customers. So that way you can focus on what you do best, which is tax services. You're better at tax consultant, at consulting for taxes. You get to focus on doing just that. Leave the marketing to a marketing tool rather than you trying to do it manually. So this idea of like passing out business cards, or even worse, like doing the QR codes on your phone, and you're just like, let me get your number to my number. That's a long time. That takes a long time. If there's 250 people in the audience, all of them pay taxes. Would you agree? Like, all of them pay taxes, or at least they should. To go to each person and say, let me pass my QR code to your QR code, let's go back and forth, it's going to take a long time, very long time, actually, at that. So the easiest way to do this is going to be to get people to come to opt in and text you. And then from there, you capture their name, email, and phone number, and you follow up with them and build a relationship with them all automatically. So if there's 250 people in the audience, well, what's cool is with our technology, Progretta, you can actually automate the conversation and generate 250 leads all automatically.
Yes, that is very, very important. And you're right. It's not just how much am I saving? Like, am I saving 1,000? Am I saving 500? It's actually more of now, this helped me generate an extra $5,000 client, an extra $15,000 revenue because it's so much easier to do volume fulfillment, pre-qualifying appointments. There's another element that I want to add in regards to how the tax consultant business model or tax business can use this. Because Progretta allows you to add team members, this also gives the business owner visibility to see how a sales team or even an assistant, doesn't have to be a sales team, but like how a sales team or assistant is converting them, right?
Hmm.
So before, and I've been in businesses before where like all the business information is kind of passed on. So if I left the business, I would take all the information in my phone because they would like use your phone, make the calls from your phone, send
Right.
emails, whatever. Like they couldn't really monitor my numbers. I could say I made 50 calls, but how are they checking? So there is another element, not just from the chat automations, of course, is powerful, the workflows, the automations on the back end for touch points. But I would definitely say the third element is the visibility that the business owner will now have on what did the sales team convert. Can you share a little bit more about the value of a tax business or a business that has a team they can get from seeing what happened to the leads?
So the inside of Progretta's technology, there's a area called opportunities, and there's a dashboard that shows you how many sales opportunities that you actually have. You'll be able to identify how many new people, new leads came in, and you'll have a list of all of them, their name, their email, their phone number. And then number two, you'll see what stage of the sales process that they're in. So for example, new lead, when that person books an appointment, they will move to a new section inside the opportunity where it will show you how many people booked a consultation call. Out of the people who booked a consultation call, how many people showed up to the consultation call? And from how many people who showed up to the consultation call, you'll be able to identify how many of them got an invoice sent. Out of the people that got an invoice sent, how many of them paid the invoice, and how many of them are currently in your onboarding process. And you'll be able to see whether it's 1,000 people in new lead down to how many people were invoice sent. You'll be able to categorize and be able to track each person at every stage of the sales process. And so the value for you as a tax professional with a team is that you'll now have the ability to track your team members' production and be able to identify where are the weak points in their processes, where are the opportunities or areas of improvement in their processes. And because you'll have it on one large dashboard and you can categorize it by the name of the tax professional who's working with your customer, and you'll be able to identify, hey, Barbara, we noticed that you have a lot of new leads, but none of them are scheduled a consultation call and none of them got an invoice sent. But Tom, I see that a lot of people on your list are invoice sent, so you have a lot of money left in accounts receivable, but nobody has paid yet. Nobody has paid in accounts receivable. So what is going on? And so you're able to identify that with one clear dashboard. And that's the value. That's one of the areas of opportunity for you if you don't have this type of infrastructure for you to really organize your business and have a system to track your sales and track your sales opportunities.
Yes, and like I always say, numbers don't lie. So that way you can actually see what is the conversion rates. You can see, like you said, how long they're staying in a bucket of like new lead. They haven't been called. When was the last touch point? All of that data is all housed in Progretta. Well, one last question. Did you ever think that by building out Progretta and all the automation to workflows, did you think it's going to reach it's going to speak, it's going to help tax consultants? Like, was that your initial idea to reach tax consultants, or was that an accident?
No, it was never the intention, but I'm grateful that that it came to me because this is processes that I've been using inside of my business to generate leads, and I shared it with enough tax consultants and tax professionals that it's added value to their businesses, generating them new business and so forth. And it all started with the same chat automation process.
Yes, that's amazing to hear the positive reviews that we've gotten, the updates on how they're like, I can work from my laptop and I can see everything on my phone. That's what inspired me to do this episode, because we get nothing but positive reviews from people that have implemented, executed it, and it's changed their life.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to add for the audience as we wrap up our podcast this week?
Right now, be sure to put attention on how your customers opt in. Does it take a long time for them to opt in? Is it a tedious process? Do they have to go to your website and scroll down to contact us and go back and forth? Or is it as simple as text the word taxes to my phone number and it instantly captures the phone number? So you want to make it very simple, very easy for your customer to be able to opt in and do business with you.
Sounds great. Well, we'll see you on the next episode, and we look forward to the next topic to provide value and insight. Have a great rest of your week.
Have a great week, everyone.